I welcome you back to research series. In our previous lesson, we learned about how to identify research gap. In that lesson, we were able to summarize what research gap means. So we say that when they ask you about what research gap is, it refers to something that has not yet been studied or something that we have limited or insufficient knowledge about it. Today, we are going to continue the lesson from where we ended. So we are going to talk about the types of research gaps we have, so that in our search for research gap, we can know the exact type we are dealing with. So the first research gap that I will talk about is the evidence gap. So what is the evidence gap? Over here, I'm not coming to define anything for you. Let's deal with the name, evidence gap. So let's take this, a new area where we don't have any data or where research has not been conducted there. Then that area serve as a gap in research, and we can conclude that that side is a research gap that falls under evidence. Why evidence? Because nothing has been done there. We don't know anything about what is going on there. So there is evidence that we don't have any data concerning that particular phenomenon or area. The next research gap we will be talking about is the knowledge gap. Knowledge gap. So let me refer you back to yesterday. I was using the close fishing season as a focus for the study. Now we came to know that there has been a shift. So far as the policy is concerned, we know something about it, but right now we don't know much about the policy shift. So though we have knowledge about the close fishing policy, but the knowledge that we have is not sufficient to address the shift. Hence, the shift will fall under a knowledge gap. Good. If you are getting me, then we are on the same page. So when we talk about the knowledge gap, though research have been done on that particular field, but then current knowledge or current empirical evidence that we have are inadequate to address the current trend we have observed. Hence, we classify that one under the knowledge gap. The next one that I'll be talking about is the methodological gap. Methodological gap. Now, we can have some past studies being studied under a particular methodology. You can decide that no, I want to use an alternate methodology to assess that phenomenon. When that happens, that gap falls under methodological gap. So example would be, let's assume that many people are interested in using quantitative survey to assess the impact of the close fishing season. Most of the studies that are coming up, or past studies, they are all dealing with or using quantitative approach to assess the impact of the close fishing policy. So you can decide that no, past studies have used quantitative, I want to go qualitative, or I want to combine quantitative and qualitative, thereby arriving at mixed method. So when you use a particular method, or when a particular method has been used dominantly to assess a particular phenomenon, we can find a methodological gap there. We have the population gap. The population gap is where we are dealing with particular group of people. So most of the studies are focusing on maybe urban women, neglecting or overlooking those are the rural areas. Then you can decide to embark on such or same study, but your population will be those are the rural settings. Same happens with location. So urban, rural, you can also find another gap there. The last one I'll be talking about is the theoretical gap. Sometimes you may come across someone's paper or someone's article. The work is good, but you can see or you can testify that the person didn't use any theory to back his study. When that happens, you can decide to conduct the same research, but you backed your research with a theory. Also, sometimes you may be interested in finding out whether a theory that has been used by a particular scholar truly fits his or her study. So in your analysis or in your assessment, when you see that no, the theory that he or she used was not appropriate or most appropriate or suitable for such study, you can decide to embark on a study and use the most suitable or appropriate theory to assess or to evaluate what you want. So in conclusion, there are 6 types of research gap, from new area which falls under the evidence, knowledge gap, methodological gap, we have the population and location, and then theoretical gap. The benefit of knowing this is it helps you to know what you are doing so far as research is concerned. Knowing the particular type of gap you are dealing with helps you to know what you are doing. Thank you.